Part 71. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Land by Gezi. Chapter 701. Hearing the words of the first three, the Pavilion Master of the Refining Pavilion and the President of the Beast Masters Guild were all confused. Lum Wan is an 8th grade alchemist and an 8th grade spirit wine. If she wants to join the Danta, this is her advantage. She is also a registered mercenary in the Mercenary Union, and it seems that it makes sense to join the Mercenary Union. Well, according to the news they went to check yesterday, it was confirmed that she was indeed a 7th rank array master, so what did they use to recruit her? Cough, that Lu girl, do you know how to refine tools? The Pavilion Master of the Refining Pavilion didn't want to miss Lum Wan's genius, so he asked with a light cough. Lum Wan nodded and smiled, I will. The eyes of the Pavilion Master of the Item Refining Pavilion suddenly lit up, and he continued to ask, how many item refiners? 7th grade Lum Wan replied. The refining tool is the weakest of her several spells. If it weren't for refining the natal magic tool, she would not be able to reach the 7th rank. Since she came to the Guangling realm, she has not only refined the long fire element attribute. After the sword, no other magic tools have been refined. After thinking about it, she thought that the refining tool should not be lost. With the increase of her cultivation, she still hopes that the refining of her natal magic weapon can be directly refined into a divine weapon, so that the time to cultivate it will be relatively short. Her indifferent look shocked most of the people here. What? A 7th grade artifact refiner, the Pavilion Master of the Artifact Refining Pavilion asked with bright eyes, can you show me the magic weapon you refined? He was very curious about how proficient Lum Wan was in the art of refining. A 7th grade artifact refining master was already considered to be the best among geniuses at her age, and his direct disciples were only 7th grade artifact refining masters, but they were all 100. How old are you? The others were also very curious and turned their attention to Lum Wan. Ming Xiu's sexy thin lips twitched slightly, his Yanner had to let these old things go crazy this time. Lum Wan thought about it and took out the 3 long swords of metal, water, and fire attributes. The Pavilion Master of the Refining Pavilion picked up the long sword and looked at it, and the more he looked, the more excited he became. Wonderful, wonderful, he fixedly looked at the last fire attribute long sword and sighed, there are actually 77 formations to prohibit. If all the power of the sword is stimulated, it can be comparable to the middle grade S artifact. If I'm not mistaken, you are the blood contract life magic weapon, right? It can be seen from the 3 swords that the grade of refining is gradually increasing, and the perfection of refining is getting better and better, and from the perspective of a refiner of his level, the imprint of the refining is indeed Lum Yu. Smoke. Lum Wan nodded, well, yes. Several other people picked up the long sword and looked at it curiously, knowing that there is a big difference between the blood contract and the ordinary magic weapon. Generally, the level of the magic weapon is the level of the whole life when it is refined, and the blood contract life magic weapon can be upgraded with the growth of the master's cultivation. Being able to refine such a top quality blood deed natal magic weapon, the little girl's talent for refining is also very good. The president of the Mercenary Union is a 9th level refiner, and he couldn't help but admire from the bottom of his heart. At the 7th rank, a magic weapon of this level can be refined. After entering the 8th rank, refining the divine weapon should be a breeze. Little girl, do you still make talismans in addition to the formation? The leader of the Formation Alliance asked with an expectant smile. Normally Lum Wan would be relatively low-key, but now in front of her mother's clan and Mingxiu's father and brothers, she still decided to be high profile, and she would fight for her mother and Mingxiu. I will. Lum Wan continued to nod. How many? The leader of the Formation Alliance couldn't help asking excitedly. Lum Wan thought of going to the Comprehension Pagoda in the future and realized that her spell level would soon be revealed, so she stopped hiding and said, 8th rank. Her talent for alchemy is actually a little worse than that of formations and talismans, mainly because she liked to study various difficult formations and restrictions in her previous life. She has also made many talismans, and she especially likes the partial ones. What? 8th rank, the leader of the Formation Alliance couldn't help but exclaimed. Ming Xiu looked at the leader of the Formation Alliance and smiled and said, Yanu's formations and talismans are even more powerful than her alchemy skills. Maybe the seniors have never seen the refined talismans. What talisman has I not seen before? The leader of the Formation Alliance looked at Lum Wan like a hungry wolf staring at fresh meat and said, Little girl, take it out and let me see. Lum Wan gave Ming Xiu a funny look, then took out a refined 7th grade invisibility amulet and said, This is the invisibility amulet that I refined, and it has the effect of concealing aura after activation. The leader of the Formation Alliance carefully took the talisman and looked at it carefully, pointed at a prince at will, and said, Come here and try the talisman. In his heart, the 7th prince was itching to see the so-called invisibility talisman, just like a cat's claws, but unexpectedly, he clicked on his name. He happily got up and took the talisman and immediately excited, and the 7th prince disappeared in the private room after a moment. Except for a few big bosses, Emperor Ming, Fenyuixin, and the 2 elders of the royal family from the Ming Palace, no one else could find out the figure and aura of the 7th prince. What a miraculous talisman, one prince couldn't help but sigh. The eyes of Emperor Hades and the others were full of light. If such a talisman could be refined into grade 8 or grade 9, they might not be able to see through the other party's concealment based on their cultivation. Okay, kid, untie it, the pavilion master of the refining pavilion said. The 7th prince himself is a 7th rank talisman master, and he has a high talent and attainments in talismanism, and the function of talisman is lifted without Lum Wan teaching. He smiled and walked up to Lum Wan and said, Brother and sister, my relationship with the 9th brother is the best. Is this invisibility amulet a gift for me? The awareness of the 7 princes' cheekiness among the princes and princesses rose to a higher level. The 2nd prince and others hoped that Lum Wan would directly refuse to slap in the face. It's a pity that Lum Wan didn't do what they wanted. She smiled and said, Okay. As long as the 7th prince doesn't dislike it, it's fine. After entering the private room, Ming Xiu not only introduced Emperor Ming, but also introduced the royal brothers and sisters to Lum Wan. The 7th prince looked excited. If it weren't for the warning look from Ming Xiu, he would have wanted to go up and hug Lum Wan. Such a talisman has a fatal attraction for a genius talisman who likes to study. One piece of the 7th grade invisibility talisman refined by Lum Wan can activate 6 times, so he can use it 5 times. Seeing that Lum Wan really gave the invisibility talisman to the 7th prince, the other princes and princesses couldn't help but envy in their hearts. Such a powerful talisman can be used as a means of life-saving. Girl, can you give me one too? The leader of the Formation Alliance also asked with a smile on his face. Lum Wan said apologetically, Senior, I'm sorry, this is the last invisibility talisman I made. I've used up all the previous materials. I've been busy preparing for alchemy recently and didn't even try to make it. She was telling the truth, and she wouldn't be stingy with an invisibility charm if there was any extra. She has absolute confidence that even if the invisibility talisman falls into the hands of a 9th rank talisman master, she will never be able to figure out how to refine it. This is a unique skill that only she can master. The leader of the Formation Alliance looked at her with an apologetic expression, and knew that it was true, and felt extremely regretful in his heart. It's okay, just give the old man one when you refine it again. Of course he won't take it for free. Okay, Lum Wan nodded and promised. Several other bigwigs who also wanted the invisibility talisman were very sorry in their hearts, thinking about going to exchange with the 7 boys of the Ming family after waiting for a while. At this time, Di secretly rejoiced that if his wise 7th prince knew that several bigwigs, the underworld emperor, and the elders of the royal family were all trying to hit him with the invisibility charm, he probably wouldn't be able to laugh, and he would definitely cry to death in the thatched hut. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 702. The powerhouses who were present with Lu Muan's invisibility amulet were heartbroken. Girl Lu, can your invisibility talisman be refined into an 8th grade talisman? Asked the leader of the Formation Alliance. Lu Muan smiled and replied, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet. Many talismans only have a fixed level and cannot be upgraded, but invisibility talismans can, but she will not expose all her cards at once. If this invisibility talisman can be researched into an 8th rank talisman, its effect will be many times stronger, the leader of the Formation Alliance said with a little regret. Although he wanted to study the invisibility talisman, it was Lu Muan's thing after all. He couldn't forcefully rob other people's creations. Such talismans were very valuable. If they were made in an auction, they would definitely be robbed insane of. However, a genius talisman who can develop such talismans will not leak his achievements. For example, he also has his own talismans, and sometimes even his own disciples may not be able to teach them. Well, when my cultivation strength improves, I will try to refine the 8th grade invisibility talisman. Lu Muan nodded. Several great experts present were very satisfied with her answer, neither arrogant nor impetuous, and understood where their shortcomings were. This kind of xingxing is definitely the best among the younger generation, that is, many people of their age may not be able to maintain such a calm and peaceful state of mind. It is still a bit reluctant to become an 8th grade magician with the cultivation of the Earth Origin realm. If he can hit the Heaven Origin realm, Lu Muan's overall magic power will definitely make a qualitative leap. Seeing that Lu Muan and the specialties of several other major forces were involved, the president of the Beast Masters Guild couldn't help but be a little worried. After thinking about it, he asked, Little girl, do you know how to control beasts? Just as Lu Muan was about to answer, the ice halberd standing behind her spoke first, My master will definitely control the beast, otherwise we wouldn't be standing here. Before Bingji and others came in with Fenuixin, they hadn't noticed, but now they found out that Bingji and others were indeed several demon cultivators, and their cultivations were still in the Earth Origin realm. You are Lu's spiritual pet, the president of the Beast Masters Guild was stunned. It's natural, we have been with the master since the early years, Bingji replied proudly. The president of the Beast Masters Guild looked at Lu Muan and said, Lu girl, are you at least a 7th rank Beast Master? It's not the 7th rank or the 8th rank, Lu Muan smiled. As for the level of beast controlling, she has never divided herself. His ancient art contract has no restrictions. Now, as long as she suppresses the demon cultivator in the Tianyuan realm, she can also contract him. Peerless genius, the president of the Beast Masters Guild was excited. This is the first time in my life that I have seen a genius who has reached this level in all 5 techniques. If it was normal, they would definitely shake their heads and be speechless when they heard who practiced the 5 techniques together, so spending limited energy on each technique would be too non-specific, and it would definitely not be a great thing. But the reality tells them that as long as they have good talent, the 5 techniques can actually be accomplished, such as the peerless talent like Lu Muan. It's not just me who can master the 5 arts, Lu Muan said with a smile on his brows. Who else can do it? The leader of the Formation Alliance asked curiously. Lu Muan looked at Ming Xiu softly and smiled, Ming Xiu can do it too. Not only is his man proficient in the 5 items, but he also understands all the powers of heaven and earth just like her. In fact, he should be even better than her in terms of talent. After all, part of her strength today comes from the experience of her previous life. And cumulative. I'm taking the liberty to ask, I don't know what level the 9th Highness's 5 techniques have reached, asked the leader of the Formation Alliance. He heard that Ming Xiu was very accomplished in formation, and thought that he was at least a 7th rank formation mage. The 8th grade formation technique, the 8th grade talisman, the 8th grade weapon refining, the 8th grade animal control, and the 7th grade alchemy. Ming Xiu's handsome face was full of confident brilliance, just like Lum Weian. Lum Weian's item refining is her weakest skill, but she is much stronger than many geniuses. She is relatively weak in Ming cultivation pills, but she is still the best among geniuses. The two of them can be said to be all-around geniuses. Hi, the people present couldn't help but let out an unbelievable voice, but they all knew that with Ming Xiu's temperament and arrogance, he wouldn't bother to lie. Emperor Hades only knew that the formation of Ming Xiu should have reached the 8th grade, but he did not expect that several other techniques were so powerful, and the smile in his eyes could not be concealed. Ming Emperor, Feng girl, you are really lucky, the pavilion master of the refining pavilion said enviously. After the two married, these two young people did not know what kind of brilliance they would bring to the Feng family and the Ming Palace royal family. Haha, my Xiu'er is naturally the best. Seeing Feng Yuexin squinting slightly, Emperor Ming immediately added, of course, my Xiu'er's daughter-in-law is also the best. Feng Yuexin smiled lightly, you guys have finished drinking and talking, can I take Yan'er to go first? The corners of the mouths of several bigwigs twitched. This Phoenix girl is really rude, and the words are finished, they are just curious. The president of the mercenary union said with a smile, don't worry, girl Feng, I still haven't heard anything about the little girl I asked about. Judging from their age and cultivation base, Feng Yuexin was just a young girl to them. That's right, it would be a pity if Lu girl didn't join one of the forces. After all, you should be aware of those secret things, the tower owner of Danta said without shyness. Feng Yuexin paused when she heard about those secret matters. She looked at Lum Weian and said, if you want to join any of them, Yan'er will not object, but you must be careful. The head of the Feng family and others also knew that a genius like Lum Weian would get absolutely different from staying in the Feng family and joining several top forces, and they also supported her. Girl Lu, as our 9th prince's future concubine, should naturally join our Nether Palace royal family. Why are you joining in the fun? An elder of the 9th Palace royal family couldn't sit still. Such a peerless genius, they will not let go of the Palace royal family. How to choose everything depends on Lu girl. Even if she doesn't choose our Nether Palace royal family, she is still my daughter-in-law. It's better to go to a few old guys to dig more good things, Hades said jokingly. Ming Xiu grinned, and cast a vague admiration look at Emperor Ming. The old man is really serious. Lum Weian's affection for Emperor Hades was one more layer in her heart, and she didn't want to join the royal family of the underworld. The elder of the imperial family of the underworld was choked, but he didn't dare to say more when he looked at the deep and boundless gaze of the underworld emperor. I just scolded him again and again in my heart. Lum Weian's failure to join the Ming Palace royal family is a loss to their entire royal family, but Emperor Ming is the father-in-law of others. Of course, there is no loss at all, and it is more beneficial to Ming Xiu. They couldn't help but sigh again. Emperor Hades would be emotional in front of the 9th prince, and cultivating was his bottom line, and they didn't dare to offend his inverse scales at all. Among the powerhouses of the entire underworld royal family, the underworld emperor is the youngest in age, but his strength is the most unfathomable and incomprehensible. Those who dare to challenge the underworld emperor and offend him, even those who merge with the upper realm, will end up miserably. They have seen it before. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 703. The leaders of several top forces heard the words of Emperor Ming and Feng Yuexin and completely relieved their hearts to grab people. As long as these two parties do not hinder Lum Weian's choice, they all have hope. Lu girl, as long as you join our pill pagoda, the 8th rank and 9th rank pill recipes in the forbidden area in the tower can be viewed by you, and you can directly join the central hall, and you can also choose a holy level high rank exercise method and a high grade artifact. The tower owner of the Danta took the lead and said, the cultivation methods of the mainland are divided into human level, earth level, heaven level, holy level, and god level, and each level is divided into 3 levels, upper, middle, and lower. The conditions given by the Danta Pagoda Master are actually very good. This is a treatment that other new disciples who have joined the Danta Center Hall cannot enjoy. The leader of the Formation Alliance hurriedly said, Lu girl, as long as you join our Formation Alliance, the formations and talismans of the 8th and 9th levels in the Alliance are available for your research, and you can directly join the Central Hall of the Alliance and reward 100,000 contributions. Value points, you can also choose a high-grade holy grade exercise and a high-grade artifact. Girl Lu. The Pavilion Master of the Item Refining Pavilion and the President of the Beast Masters Union followed suit, and the conditions for solicitation were similar. The President of the Mercenary Union was not as eager as they were. He thought for a while and said with a smile, Girl Lu, as long as you join the Mercenary Union, I will accept the conditions they offered, and add another one on top of that. You can get a mercenary guild to comprehend the quota of the tower. Lu Muian's eyes lit up. She wanted to mention this condition, but she didn't expect the president of the Mercenary Union to mention it first. Okay, then I'll join the Mercenary Union, she said without any hesitation. This was originally a decision she had made in advance. Hearing her straightforward answer, the other bigwigs were dumbfounded. What kind of condition is this? Girl Lu, don't be fooled by this old thing, the leader of the Array Alliance said. With your talent and conditions, you can definitely get a place in the Array Alliance to comprehend the tower. Yeah. If you come to our Danta, I can give you this quota right now, said the tower owner of the Danta. Girl Lu, as long as you are willing to come to the Refining Pavilion, I can allow you to make 3 conditions, as long as it is within the scope of my authority. The elders of the Refining Pavilion seemed to be willing to give up. Girl Lu. Several other people also increased the conditions for recruitment. The president of the Mercenary Guild laughed and said, didn't you hear it? Lu girl has already chosen the Mercenary Guild, so you can play where it is cool. Lu Muian also said apologetically to several people, the kindness of several seniors has been accepted. Since I have chosen the Mercenary Union, I will not hesitate to choose other forces to join. Although other forces are constantly increasing the conditions for solicitation, she is not a greedy and easy changer, and no amount of temptation can resist her determination and commitment. Hearing Lu Muian's words, the head of the Mercenary Trade Union's eyes filled with admiration. If Lu Muian said that he wanted to join the Mercenary Trade Union, but was repented by other people's conditions, then he would still have such a character. Really need to be considered. Fortunately, she didn't let him down. There are too few young people with such qualities now, and he was lucky enough to meet one. For Lu Muian's choice, the big men of the other major forces are extremely regretful, and they appreciate her even more in their hearts, but since she has already chosen, they can't lose the dignity of being strong and fight again. Grab. Old man Wu, since my daughter-in-law has chosen your Mercenary Union, you must take good care of it, otherwise it will be very difficult for my son to make trouble with me, Emperor Hades said half-jokingly. For Lu Muian's choice, Emperor Hades thinks it is more wise. The Mercenary Masters Guild does not specialize in any technique. After Lu Muian joins, the possibility of being bound is very small. It is possible to upgrade to the 9th grade. Of course, it is also possible to stay at the 8th rank and never go up again. This is a step that countless geniuses on the continent have terminated. The president of the Mercenary Union was in a good mood, and laughed loudly. Don't worry, even if you don't mention talents like little girls, I will focus on cultivating them. My precious daughter will be handed over to you. You don't need to release water when it's time to be strict, but if anyone dares to bully her, I'll be the first to forgive, Fenyuixin also said with a faint smile. The president of the mercenary union felt the pressure, and this disciple with a strong background was a little troublesome. Don't worry, girl Feng, can I still let someone bully your daughter? That's good, I'll be here to thank you first. Fenyuixin nodded and continued, I'm going to take Yanner to meet the ancestors of my Feng family first, so I might not be able to go to work until later. Military Union reports. No problem, I'll give you 3 months, the president of the mercenary union said. The time to open the comprehension tower is almost here, and Lu Xiao girl still needs to go to the central hall of the mercenary union to get acquainted. The Feng family has a mysterious bloodline pool. This time Fenyuixin should bring Lu Muan back to stimulate the bloodline, and he will naturally agree. Okay, then 3 months, Fenyuixin nodded. With her daughter's talent, 3 months is enough to wash the marrow and shape the body in the family's Tianfeng blood pool to stimulate the blood. Emperor Underworld, a few fellow Daoists, then we'll leave first, and we'll have a chance to discuss it another day. Fenyuixin stood up and said with a small smile. Emperor Ming thought for a while and asked, Yuixin, do you think my family's marriage between Jiu'er and Mu Yan should be settled first? He knew his son's eagerness to marry a daughter-in-law, so he didn't mind helping his son. Moreover, the higher the sword master's cultivation base, the more difficult it will be to have children in the future, and the lower the possibility. He also hopes to have a grandson as soon as possible. This matter is not in a hurry. Let's talk about it when Yanner's father comes to the Guangling realm, Fenyuixin said after pondering. She was full of complexities about Lu Moyu, but she couldn't deny that he was the father of her children, and she couldn't ignore the longing in her heart. When everyone heard her say this, they were very curious about what kind of man would be able to make Fenyuixin, a well-known and arrogant girl, give birth to a child, but because of her temperament, they couldn't ask them directly. However, one thing can be captured, that is, Lu Muan's father is not from the Guangling world. Okay, the marriage of the two children will naturally have to wait until the in-laws are around. Emperor Hades could also understand Fenyuixin's mood. Lu Muan saw her mother's indescribable but soft eyes, and her lips curled up in an arc. Even if she merged with the main soul, her mother still misses her father in her heart. Well, let's go first. Fenyuixin nodded lightly and gave the Feng family's patriarch a look. Everyone from the Feng family stood up and left the private room with Fenyuixin. Before leaving, Lu Muan gave Mingxiu a reassuring look, then turned and left the private room. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 704. Fenyuixin and others took Lu Muan and Lu Muting to teleport back to Tianfeng City, where Feng's family is located, using a secret teleportation array in the Feng family's courtyard. Zhongzhou has a vast territory and rich resources. Top-level forces and first-class forces have their own cities or stations. The Feng family's base is Tianfeng City. Tianfeng City is very big. Most of the people living in the city are the main line and branches of the Feng family. There are also some second and third-class families who are attached to the Feng family living in the city. There is a large teleportation array in the city not only for the Feng family to teleport, but also for everyone in the city to teleport, just pay a teleportation fee. The largest teleportation formation in this heavenly city was constantly lit up, and a group of people walked down from it. The old man guarding the teleportation array shrank his eyes when he saw the person coming, and immediately stepped forward respectfully. This old servant has seen the head of the family, the young lady, and several elders. Go down. The head of the Feng family nodded casually. Yes. Soon the old man withdrew, and Lu Muan saw that this person's cultivation was actually in the Danyuan realm. A person from the Danyuan realm came to guard the teleportation formation of Tianfeng City. It seems that the Feng family really deserves to be a first-class family with a deep background. Yanner, This is the teleportation formation shared by Tianfeng City. There are several teleportation formations in the Feng family, but they are very secretive and would not be used under normal circumstances, Fenyuixin communicated to Lum Weian. Well, I understand, my mother. Lum Weian nodded. Fenyuixin was introducing the situation of Tianfeng City to Lum Weian all the way from the teleportation place. Lum Weian saw Zizalo in the city, and people came in and out, and the business was booming. Mother, is there any property of the Su family in Tianfeng City? This kind of thing is not a secret, Lum Weian asked directly without a voice transmission. Fenyuixin smiled and replied, the Feng family uses body training to make famous people. Many body training exercises require the aid of spirit wine. Long-term use of medicinal pills is not suitable for body training. Yeah. Our Feng family spends a lot of money just buying spirit wine in Zizalo, and we have to buy it, the head of the Feng family said. Lum Weian thought for a while and asked, then why didn't the Feng family train a few spirit masters? Spiritual wine masters are not easy to cultivate. Not only talent but also wine recipes are needed. Spirit wine recipes from the entire continent are rarely revealed on the market, and even the first-class families of the Feng family can only buy limited ones. The head of the Feng family paused and said, there is a 7th-rank spirit wine master in the clan, but he is usually arrogant. He will brew some spirit wine every year, but the remuneration is very high. We have no choice but to do so. Cooperate with 11 Zalo. How many spirit wine masters are there in the Feng family? Lum Yu asked. 1 of the 7th rank, 3 of the 6th rank, and more than 20 spirit wine masters of 5 and below, the head of the Feng family replied. Lum Weian nodded and had a plan in mind. Soon, they came to a huge and magnificent building. This is the Feng family. After the head of the Feng family brought the 2 brothers and sisters Lum Weian into the Feng family, many people came to see it curiously. After all, the fact that Lum Weian was Fenyuixin's daughter had long been rumored. That's Mrs. Daughter. She looks so beautiful and has an outstanding temperament. Yeah, such a young 8th-grade alchemist can only be born to someone like the young lady. The young man beside Lum Weian is her twin brother, he looks really similar. A group of people from the Feng family were whispering quietly in various places, and the topics were all around the 2 brothers and sisters of Lum Weian. The head of the Feng family didn't bother to care about them, and directly took the Lum Weian brothers and sisters to the forbidden area of the Feng family to meet a few ancestors. The forbidden area of the Feng family was in the depths of the Feng family mansion. Not only was there a guard of the 9th rank formation, but there were also many restrictions. The head of the Feng family threw a fiery red token, and the layers of restrictions broke open a passage. Let's go. The 2 brothers and sisters Lum Weian walked into the aisle with the head of the Feng family and Fenyuixin. Not everyone can come to the forbidden area of the Feng family. The other members of the Feng family left after returning to the Feng family. Passing through the forbidden passage, a forest of birds and flowers appeared in the eyes of the 2 of them. There is a lake across the forest, and on the other side of the lake there is a piece of purple bamboo forest. The wooden house on the far right is where I practice, Fenyuixin said to the 2 brothers and sisters, pointing to a wooden house on the right, not deep in the purple bamboo forest. Mother, are all the seniors of the Feng family living here in the fusion realm? Lum Weian felt the strong aura coming from the wooden houses. Yes, as long as you reach the fusion level in the Feng family, you can choose a wooden house to cultivate here. Fenyuixin smiled and said, you will know the reason when you cross the bridge. The road leading from the lake to the purple bamboo forest is a bamboo bridge. Based on Lum Weian's accomplishments and strength in formation, it is not difficult to see that there is actually an attack-defense formation on this bridge. Each piece of wood that connects the bridge also has a prohibition of attack engraved on it, and it is so subtle that she can actually see God. Not bad, not bad. A loud voice suddenly sounded in the air. You can actually understand the restrictions on the wooden bridge at such a young age. The formation technique is very accomplished. Lum Weian withdrew from his thoughts when he heard the voice, and when he looked up, he saw an old man in red suddenly appearing on the bridge. Meet the third elder Fenyuixin, and the head of the Feng family gave the elder a junior salute. Lum Wan and Lum Yuding also worshipped this person according to the gourd painting. The old man in red put his eyes on Lum Wan with great interest and said with a smile, "You are the Lum Wan who won the alchemy conference of the Alchemy Tower." It's the junior. Lum Wan's tone was respectful. Not arrogant or impetuous at a young age, calm and reserved is a good seedling. The old man in red smiled and nodded. Senior has won the prize. Lum Wan's expression did not change and was still as calm as ever. The red-clothed old man smiled and shifted his gaze to Lum Yuding's body, and then snorted, "This kid is actually the body of a sword spirit, his soul is pure and clean, and he is a craftable material." Very good, very good." The red-haired old man showed a slight smile in his eyes. "Girl Xian has really given birth to a pair of good children. We also have an eldest brother. My eldest brother is a murderer, so my mother has actually given birth to 3 good children." Lum Yuding's temperament is relatively straightforward, and he feels that the red-clothed old man is more friendly, so he let go of his words and deeds. Many. Murdering body? Very good. I didn't expect a physique that has never been seen in 10,000 years to reappear in our Feng family. The old man in red looked around enthusiastically and asked, "What about your eldest brother?" "My eldest brother hasn't arrived in the Guangling realm yet." Lum Yuding's eyes showed concern, and then he said firmly, "But my eldest brother will be here soon." Girl Xian. The old man in red thought for a while, looked at Fenyuixin and said, "If your eldest son comes to Zhongzhou, you must bring him to see the old man." "Okay," Fenyuixin replied with a slight smile. The slaughtering body can cultivate several unique skills in the Feng family, and the Feng family has not had this kind of physique for a long time. No wonder the third elders pay so much attention. "Let's go, you all follow me to see the ancestors." The old man in red also stopped talking. "Yes." While the 2 brothers Lum Wan went to see the ancestor of the Feng family, they were at the headquarters of the dark market in the human realm. A tall, slender, cold-blooded man in white picked up a copy of the latest news from the dark market about major events in the human realm, Yujian, and looked at it. After a while, a warm and rare smile appeared on his handsome and unparalleled face, and he whispered softly, "My sister won the championship and finally recognized her mother. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant." Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 705. Human Domain Dark City Headquarters. Lum Yubai flipped through the news files about Lum Wan and Lum Yuding as usual, and his face darkened instantly when he saw a mission news. His voice came softly in the room. A man in black immediately pushed open the door and entered respectfully in front of him and asked, "What's your highness order? Can this mission from the demon race be cancelled?" Lum Wan threw the black-clothed man the task list that the great saint entrusted the dark market to assassinate Lum Wan. The black-clothed man looked at it cautiously and said, "This mission was sent from the demon domain, and we cannot cancel it. Only the Dark Lord has this authority. He would have the authority to cancel the tasks he received from the human domain. After all, this was the first direct disciple that the Dark Lord had accepted over the years, but he really couldn't help with the tasks of the other 3 domains." "Okay, back off." Lum Yubai nodded lightly. "Yes." After the man in black withdrew, Lum Wan turned around and inserted a dark token into a card slot in the room. A secret door appeared in the room. He walked in directly, and the door disappeared. There was a teleportation formation below the room, and he did not hesitate to place a few middle-grade spirit stones in the teleporting card slot, and a white light flickered. Above a deep pool full of spiritual energy sat an old man wearing a dark golden shirt, and his whole person exuded a strong coercion and aura. When he found the white figure appearing under the pool, he slowly opened his eyes. "Is there anything you want to do with me?" "I want to trouble you to help cancel a mission from the demon domain," Lum Yubai said respectfully. When he ascended from Tianling continent to Guangling realm, he didn't know why the space node changed. It didn't take long for him to meet this mysterious and powerful old man, and was taken back to the headquarters of the Dark City for apprenticeship. There was a trace of interest in the old man's eyes. "Bring it to me to see what the task is." Lu Mubai threw the task file up. The old man read it again and said, "Who is this person who was asked to be assassinated by the great saint of the demon race?" "My own sister," Lu Mubai said without any shyness. "It's a bit troublesome to cancel the mission of the demon domain. Why don't you let your sister hone it?" the old man said calmly. Lu Mubai's eyes turned cold. "Then I have to leave the dark market." "You threaten me?" The old man narrowed his eyes and asked dangerously. "It's not a threat, it's a statement of fact." Lu Mubai's eyes were calm and he continued, "You want to be my direct disciple. If I can't even protect my sister, what's the point of worshipping you as a master? I don't want such a master." The old man suddenly burst out laughing, not wanting to look angry, but a look of joy in his expression. "Okay, I am worthy of the disciple that my old man likes. He has a personality and blood. I can cancel the mission for you, but you also have to promise me one thing." Lu Mubai raised his head and asked, "What's the matter?" "You stay at the headquarters of the Dark City and cultivate the stunt that I gave you to Dachan. Only when you reach the Tianyuan realm can you go out and recognize your relatives." The Dark Master looked at Lu Mubai lightly. "Okay, but the dark market must ensure that it will not allow any assassination mission about any of my family members." After Lu Mubai came to the dark market, he discovered that the real dark market was too powerful. He was dispatched to assassinate. He was afraid that his sister would not be able to handle it. "Okay. You are the direct disciple of the old man, and the old man of your family will naturally help you shelter one or two." The Dark Master nodded, "But don't let the old man down. He had finally found a slaughtering body that was hard to see in 10,000 years, and a disciple with such a calm and composed mind, so he couldn't lose heart with his disciple over this trivial matter." "Disciple obeys." Lu Mubai nodded. "Although this master has a quirky temper, he will definitely do what he promised. He is not worried about this. Now it is useless to recognize your mother and younger siblings without strength. It is better to improve your cultivation and strength so that you can protect your family in the future." After the Holy Maiden issued a mission through the dark market before, Lu Muan was indeed chased and killed by several waves of dark market killers on the way to the mission, but they were all easily resolved. After the dark market raised the level of the task, Lu Muan had already arrived in Zhongzhou City to participate in the alchemy competition of the Dan Tower, and the ambush killer never found a chance to attack. Now Lu Muan has transformed into not only the daughter of Feng Yuexin, the genius of the Feng family who merged with the upper-level powerhouse, but also the future prince concubine of the 9th prince who is the favorite and most honorable of the emperor of the underworld royal family. The situation told me to upgrade the task level again. But now the Dark Master intervenes and directly and forcefully cancels the task of assassinating Lu Muan, and the level is retained. The great saint in the demon realm almost died of anger when she suddenly received the news that the dark market was withdrawing from the mission. She never thought that Lu Muan would have such a means to make the dark market cancel the mission. You must know that under normal circumstances, even if it is Feng Yuexin's life, the dark market will accept it, but the price will be very high, and ordinary strong people can't afford it. It is also impossible for an alchemist of the highest quality to let the dark market take the initiative to terminate the contract. The eldest saint and the 3 saints and Shen Mufeng who heard the news later couldn't figure it out. This also strengthened their determination to get rid of Lu Muan. If she was allowed to grow up, it would definitely threaten them in the future. So under the instigation of the 3 saints, the great saint launched her own umbu to go to the human realm to find an opportunity to kill Lu Muan. Of course, this is something. Lu Muan and the others followed the 3rd elder across the wooden bridge, and the 2 brothers and sisters felt a strong spiritual energy rushing towards them when they got off the bridge. What shocked them even more was that the air around them was actually pregnant with the law of the elements. Lu Muting looked shocked. Lu Muan regained her calm after being surprised at first, She knew that this was the effect of a very subtle 9th grade formation. Seeing Lu Muan regained her calm in an instant, the third elder secretly praised him. Then he saw Lu Muting start to think, and he was even more satisfied. Fen Yuexin's 2 children's talents and temperaments are very good, especially Lu Muan is the better. He couldn't help looking forward to the big brother who the 2 of them had never masked. Soon the 3 elders brought several people to a wooden house in the deepest part of the purple bamboo forest. Seeing a few people coming, he raised his head slightly and said, "Which one of you will accompany me to the next game?" Lu Muting blinked his eyes. He could only play chess with skins. It would definitely be shameful to play against his ancestors. Fen Yuexin didn't know much about chess, so she shook her head. The third elder and the old ancestor were often tortured to death, and he didn't want to lose face in front of the 2 juniors. "Little girl, come on." The ancestor naturally observed the expressions of several people, so he looked at Lu Muan and said casually. Lu Muan nodded respectfully, yes. She felt that the ancestors of the Feng family and the ancestors of the late stage of the spiritual world exuded the same breath, and they were a peerless powerhouse. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world. BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 706. Lu Muan likes to play chess in both her past life and this life, which can make her feel at peace. She sat opposite the ancestor of the Feng family, pinched a white piece from the table, and thought about it before placing it on the chessboard. The eyes of the ancestor of the Feng family were calm, a faint smile overflowed from his lips, and he picked up the sunspot in his hand and dropped it on the chessboard. One old and one young one came back and forth, and it took almost 3 hours to end, and the final result was a draw. I really didn't expect this girl to be so skilled at chess when she's only 20 years old. The third elder looked at the result of the chess game with a hint of shock. It's the first time I've seen someone who can play a draw with the ancestor. Little girl's chess skills are indeed superb. The ancestor of the Feng family raised his eyes and smiled at Lu Muan and said, in the future, if you have time, you will come to play chess with this old man more. Their chess skills are too bad, and it is too lonely to have no opponents. It has been a long time since he played a game of chess as heartily as before. As long as the ancestor doesn't dislike it, Yanner will come when he has time. Lu Muan replied humbly with a smile. The people around her or spirit pets don't like to play chess, so she still feels very happy when she meets someone who is a match for her. This is a gift from the old man to your brothers and sisters. The ancestor of the Feng family took out 2 brocade boxes made of ice crystal marrow and handed them to the 2 brothers and sisters of the Lu family. Thank you, old ancestor. The 2 of them didn't open it in person, and put it away more politely. The Feng family patriarch swept the 2 of them with introverted and deep eyes, and said slowly, the blood of the Feng family of the 2 of you is very pure. Today, go to the Tianfeng serum pool to wash the marrow and shape the body to stimulate the bloodline. The third elder nodded. Today happens to be the day of the full moon, and it is also the time when the Tianfeng blood pond opens. You take them down first to stimulate the bloodline. The ancestor of the Feng family looked at the sky and instructed the third elder. Okay, the third elder turned to the 2 brothers and sisters and said, you come with me. Yes. The 2 respectfully greeted the ancestors of the Feng family and left with the third elder to go to the most secret Tianfeng blood pond in the Feng family. After the 3 of them left, the ancestor of the Feng family looked at the head of the Feng family indifferently and said, the news you sent is not very detailed, so let's talk about it carefully now. Yes. The head of the Feng family recounted Lu Muan's performance in the alchemy competition and what happened in the Ming Emperor's private room, including Lu Muan and Ming Xiu of course. After listening to the words of the head of the Feng family, the calm eyes of the ancestor of the Feng family fluctuated slightly. He pondered for a moment and said, when the 2 brothers and sisters come out from the Tianfeng blood pond, they will hold a marriage recognition ceremony. I invite them one by one, and the old man and a few old friends haven't had a party for a long time. The head of the Feng family was stunned for a while, and immediately covered the shock in his eyes, and replied respectfully, as ordered. Old ancestor has not appeared to the outside world for many years. It seems that this time, he attaches great importance to the two brothers and sisters of the Lu family. Girl Xian, what do you think? The ancestor of the Feng family looked up at Feng Yuexin and asked. Feng Yuexin replied without the slightest hesitation, my sons and daughters will naturally recognize the Feng family, and I agree with the ceremony. As for their father, as long as he can ascend to the Guangling world, I am willing to accept him for the rest of his life. As the emotional memory of the split soul became stronger and stronger, all her complicated feelings for Lu Moyu were replaced by nostalgia, so she decided in her heart that after Lu Moyu ascended to the Guangling world, no matter what kind of cultivation he was, whatever his identity, he is the only husband in her life. The head of the Feng family also hopes that his sister will be happy, and that he can raise outstanding children like Lu Muan and Lu Muting. Presumably the brother-in-law is not far behind. I heard that the eldest nephew who has never met is also very good. Their Feng family doesn't have much concept of family status. As long as it is not too exaggerated, the family still advocates free marriage contracts, and will not let family disciples marry because of interests. If you can't let go and accept it, then you won't have any demons in the future. The ancestor of the Feng family nodded slightly. It's been a while since you advanced to the upper fusion realm, so it's time to go out and experience it? Well, I think so too. When Yanner goes to the mercenary union, I will go to a few small secret realms to experience. Feng Yuexin replied with a smile. They came out of the Tianfeng blood pond and brought them to see the old man. The ancestor of the Feng family paused for a while, then waved his hands with half-closed eyes and said, you guys go down. Yes. The heavenly phoenix blood pond can be regarded as the most precious wealth of the Feng family. There is a blood pool transformed from the purest heavenly phoenix essence and blood. Every 3 years, it will be opened to stimulate the blood of the younger disciples of the family. When Lu Muan followed the third elder to the Tianfeng blood pond, there were already many younger Feng family members standing outside the ban, including Feng Liu. Feng Liu waved enthusiastically when she saw Lu Muan. The best geniuses of the younger generation of the Feng family standing beside her all turned their attention to Lu Muan. Lu Muan is the daughter of the owner's sister. Now everyone in the Feng family knows it. Many people who didn't see Lu Muan just now felt a little regretful, but they didn't expect to see it here. Many people looked at her with curiosity and complexity in their eyes, but there was no hostility. Cousin, it turns out that you slipped away so early to stimulate the blood in the Tianfeng blood pond, Lu Muan approached and said with a gentle smile, blinking her eyes. Feng Liu pulled her close to her and said, yeah, my father is in such a hurry to bring us back in order to participate in the opening of the Tianfeng blood pond, and I haven't stimulated the bloodline yet. And Lu Muan smiled. Come and let me introduce you. Feng Liu enthusiastically pulled Lu Muan to introduce all the young men and women around him to Lu Muan and Lu Muting. Hello, cousin, I've heard of my cousin's name for a long time. I met her today. If you're famous, it's better to meet Feng Lian, Feng Liu's cousin and the son of Feng Yuexin's second brother, said with a smile. Cousin, you're welcome. Lu Muan smiled. Immediately, several other people gathered around to greet the two brothers and sisters of Lu Muan. They were all enthusiastic, and only a few of them maintained an alienated attitude. Most of these people are descendants of the Feng family or collateral, so it's not good to get close to each other directly. Half an hour later, a middle-aged man with a serious face walked out of the Tianfeng blood pond. Now in the middle of the moon is the time when the Tianfeng blood pond opens. I'm here to tell you about the situation inside. There are 3 areas in the Tianfeng blood pool, the outer circle, the inner circle and the core circle. The core circle is also the center of the blood pool, where there is a statue of Tianfeng. If it can go deep into the core area, it will be possible to cause Senior Tianfeng Zhenling to personally lower the clone to activate the bloodline, but this possibility is very small. Therefore, I hope that you will not be too lofty, and stimulate your bloodline according to your heart and strength. If you feel that your body is about to burst, stop immediately and stop absorbing the power in the blood pool, and withdraw from the Tianfeng blood pool to complete the ceremony. Of course, if you have a strong disciple, you can also slowly penetrate into the inner circle or even the core circle. Everything must be done within one's capacity. Don't take chances or compare yourself with others. Okay, the benefits of it, feel that you can understand it after you go down. Now follow me in. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, his hands formed a seal, and soon the restraint surrounding the Tianfeng blood pond gradually dissipated and disappeared. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 707. As soon as Lum Wan and others entered the ban, they caught a glimpse of the face of the Tianfeng blood pond. There is a huge crimson blood pool in front of it. The water in the pool does not exude a bloody and violent aura, but a faint fragrance fills the air. In the center of the blood pool is a lifelike statue of Tianfeng Zhenling, but the two eyes are tightly closed as if ignoring the ordinary world. However, although the statue of the heavenly phoenix god did not look very angry, there was a palpitating coercion that enveloped the entire heavenly phoenix blood pond. The middle-aged man asked the disciples of the Feng family to stand. He took a step forward, took out a few scarlet paper talismans and burned them, reciting a difficult and obscure scripture in his mouth. As the scriptures spread out from his mouth, the blood pool suddenly seemed to be alive, and many blisters appeared. The middle-aged man didn't stop moving, instead he kept his eyes closed, and the seals were punched into several grooves on the side of the blood pool with intricate runes, and the high-grade spirit stones also fell with his runes. In the groove, suddenly, there was a layer of red gauze like a mist above the blood pool, and it flew in the air. Many young disciples of the Feng family were shocked by the scene and could not return to their senses for a long time. Lum Wan glanced around, then lowered her eyes and stared at the complicated patterns engraved next to the pool for a long time. She immediately understood that the middle-aged man was actually using a special bloodline method to unlock the seal of the talent blood pool. Thinking about it, it is also possible that the blood pool, which can shape the body and activate the blood vessels, is usually not temporarily sealed by means, at least not to allow the pure power of the blood vessels in the blood pool to leak out. A stream of quiet fragrance wafted out even more intensely, and all the people with the blood of the phoenix at the scene immediately felt refreshed, and their mental strength seemed to gradually increase. After a cup of tea, the middle-aged man abruptly opened his eyes, and two red lights flew out of his eyes, shooting straight into the two long and narrow gaps on the opposite bank. The Tianfeng blood pond is officially opened. You can go down and shape the body in turn to activate the bloodline. The middle-aged man paused and continued, after you go down, I will teach you a set of experience in activating the bloodline. If you can't activate it, don't force it. As long as you experience the power of the bloodline with your heart, using it to shape your body can be regarded as a kind of luck. Although 87 people entered the Tianfeng blood pond to activate the bloodline this time, he did not hold out much hope. After all, there will be no less than 50 disciples of the younger generation entering the blood pool each time, but no more than 3 people can successfully activate the bloodline. Sometimes even a disciple who successfully activates the bloodline will not birth. Of course, once the blood in the body is successfully stimulated, it will be a world of difference. Lum Wan followed the others down the entrance of the blood pond. The blood pond was very large. After everyone went down, they dispersed quickly, and each of them slowly went deeper on one side. Then came the middle-aged man's experience and method of activating blood vessels. At the beginning, everyone kept moving forward in the direction of the inner circle, but after only an hour, Someone couldn't hold onto the helpless face and sat cross-legged in the outer circle and began to absorb the power of blood in the pool. There were still people moving forward, and then they were forced to stop. Only Lum Weian, Lu Muting, Fen Liu and Fen Lian were left to continue walking towards the front. When they reached the intersection of the outer circle and the inner circle, it was difficult for the two brothers and sisters of the Feng family to move forward. The two brothers and sisters Lum Weian continued to move forward. The elders and disciples of the Feng family, who were present at the sight of the two's actions, showed expressions of surprise. It must be known that the blood of the Tianfeng who has been able to step into the inner circle for thousands of years can be said to be very pure, and the physique of the body must also be strong. The first genius of the Feng family for nearly 1,000 years, Feng Yuexin's biggest limit is the middle of the inner circle. Many elders have expectations in their eyes, wanting to see if the two brothers and sisters can reach the record set by their mother back then. Slowly, Lu Muting was forced to stop after being in the middle of the inner circle for more than a short period of time, unable to withstand the violent force in his body. "Come on, little sister," he watched Lum Weian moving forward and shouted silently in his heart. Lum Weian walked forward step by step. The resistance of the blood vessels in front of her was getting stronger and stronger, her lips curled up in an arc, and the witch god art in her body kept running. Then, she only felt that the blood in her body was also cheering with the blood bubbles that were constantly boiling in the blood pool. My God! After a few hours, the third elder looked at the purple-clothed woman in front of him with a big mouth. Young girl actually stepped into the core area. This is a record that the Feng family has never had before. The Tianfeng bloodline on her body is even purer than that of the ancestor. The middle-aged man who opened the blood pool was shocked and excited. She might have a chance. The others present didn't know what the opportunity he was talking about was. He clenched his fists and stared at Lum Weian without speaking or explaining. After Lum Weian walked to the core area, she began to feel that walking was very difficult. Every time she moved, her body seemed to be set on fire. She gradually put her mind into an ethereal state, and her body began to approach the limit. However, she did not give up, and still moved towards the position of the statue in the center. As we all know, the first stop position after entering the Tianfeng blood pond also represents the end point, and there is no chance to continue moving forward. Her whole body was full of blood, and a sweet smell spread in her chest. There was firmness in her eyes, and a layer of lavender golden light lingered around her, constantly blocking the heavily suppressed blood waves. The skin on her body began to burst, and a trace of fresh blood flowed down and mixed with the blood pool, but it had not yet reached the final limit, so she continued to support her with her unyielding temperament and tenacious perseverance and continued to move forward. "This girl is too loyal, let her stop," the third elder said, looking at Lum Weian gradually turning into a bloody man. Instead, the middle-aged man calmly replied, "She has not yet reached the limit of her body. After this blood flow, the blood in her body will be more pure. This is an opportunity for breakthrough. She knows how to seize the opportunity. But if it goes on like this, she will explode," the third elder said anxiously. "This girl is not very old, but she is very calm in her actions. Don't worry, the middle-aged man has been in charge of the talent blood pool for thousands of years, so he can naturally see the difference between strong support and efforts to break through the limit. Lum Weian belongs to the latter, she is challenging her own limits." The middle-aged man's serious face showed a rare gratified smile, and he silently hoped that Lum Weian would succeed. A day later, everyone else had absorbed a lot of bloodline power, but there was still a figure standing upright in the blood pool and moving little by little. She was only one step away from the Tianfeng god statue. However, although it is only one step away, one step also means stopping, and it is difficult to ascend to the sky. At this time, Lum Weian's body was all dyed red by his own blood, and the bursting meridians continued to seep blood. After the repair of the ice bracelet, it would pause for a moment, but it would start again and again soon. But she still gritted her teeth and insisted. Her beautiful eyes were full of perseverance, and an inexplicable challenge and excitement. She will definitely take that step and complete the final limit of self-challenge. My evil Imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant author, Land by Gezi. Chapter 708. A step away sounds simple, but it is as far away as across the mountain and across the sea. It took Lum Wan 3 days to cross the step. When she stepped into the center of the talent blood pool, she had turned into a blood man, but there was a radiance like a star in those beautiful eyes. Taking this step is not only to complete the ultimate challenge of herself, but she suddenly found herself in a vast universe, with the power of rules wandering around. She sat under the statue of the god of Phoenix and closed her eyes while absorbing the power of the blood in the blood pool, while comprehending the vast and boundless universe. Such a rare opportunity is an opportunity brought about by reaching the ultimate limit. The wounds on the body were gradually healed by the green mist at the Danshan in the body. Not only did there not appear to be any problems in the body, but it seemed to have been tempered again, making it stronger and more perfect. There was even a hint of gold in her blood. She sat here for a month. The people who entered the Tianfeng blood pond with the Feng family began to be unable to withstand the influence of the power of the blood pond and exited the blood pond. 1 month was enough time for the disciples of the family to activate the bloodline. After all, apart from the ancestors who lived 10,000 years ago, no one in the family has stayed in the blood pool for more than a month. This time, the body-shaping ceremony of the blood pond made the senior members of the Feng family very satisfied, because Feng Liu, Feng Lian, and Lu Muting all successfully activated the blood in their bodies, and they were promoted from the Earth Origin realm to the Tianyuan realm. Being able to activate the bloodline in the body, the promotion of promotion is the second. The most important thing is that after the bloodline is purified, the body can not only reach the strength of the same level demon cultivator with the improvement of the cultivation base, but the ability to comprehend will be higher. This is the background of the Feng family. As long as you have talent and ability, you will have the opportunity to get the activated bloodline like a new life. Girl Lu has been cultivating quietly for more than a month. Why do I feel like she hasn't absorbed enough bloodline power? The third elder said with worry and joy. The worry is that Lum Wan's bloodline has not been activated so far, and the joy is that her talent is strong and she has become the longest person in the Feng family who has stayed in the Tianfeng blood pool for thousands of years. After she completed the final challenge, she seemed to have an opportunity to realize, let's not disturb her. The middle-aged man was still very serious, but his eyes that were originally dead were a little brighter. Okay, but I need to report this matter to the ancestors, said the third elder. The middle-aged man nodded. She has been in the blood pool for more than a month, and she really needs to report to the ancestors. Then he turned to look at the disciples who were sitting cross-legged around him and asked, are you going to leave with the third elder now, or will you continue to cultivate here and finally leave with me? We will leave with the 12 elders, the disciples of the Feng family said in unison. Although they can't go down to the Tianfeng blood pond, the power of the blood in the pond is still spreading around. They can consolidate a little bit more by staying for a while. The disciples who entered the blood pond before have no such treatment. They are all dipped in the light of Lum Wan. And everyone present wanted to see if Lum Wan could activate his bloodline successfully, and what step he could go to. Time passed little by little, and more than a month passed, and Lum Wan still hadn't woken up from the meditation. This time even the middle-aged man was a little anxious. Lum Wan's bloodline had not been activated after so long. However, the red blood in the blood pool has faded a lot, and the power of the bloodline is gradually decreasing. In such a situation, it will be difficult to maintain her energy to activate the bloodline. He no longer hesitated and reported the matter to the ancestor. Soon the patriarch of the red-clothed Feng family brought the head of the Feng family into the forbidden area of the blood pond. See patriarch. The people present saluted respectfully together. The ancestor of the Feng family nodded lightly, but looked at Lum Wan with a look of anticipation in his eyes that others could not understand. Ancestor, "Do we want to wake up the girl?" the middle-aged man asked. At this time, the blood pool's ability could barely activate the bloodline for Lum Weian, and it would be difficult to absorb some more. The ancestor of the Feng family replied calmly, "No, we'll just wait here." Yes. After another 3 days, suddenly the blood in the blood pool kept surging and beating on Lum Weian's body. A trace of bloodline power madly penetrated into her body from all directions of the blood pool, and this scene made all the disciples present stunned. Lum Weian, who had been keeping her eyes tightly closed, finally opened her eyes, and a pair of pure white and sacred transparent wings slowly spread out from her back. When the wings were fully unfolded, a soft beam of light fell from the sky and enveloped her. Immediately afterwards, a phoenix's cry rang throughout the forbidden area, with a sacred Sanskrit sound and magic power. At this time, not only the other people looked shocked and stunned, but the expression of the ancestor of the Feng family also changed. I saw that the originally closed eyes of the heavenly phoenix god statue suddenly opened, and the light was shining. With endless coercion, the statue transformed into a big bird with red flames all over its body, and the big bird wore a golden crown on its head. He screamed again, and then a drop of pure golden liquid came out of his body and drilled into the center of Lum Weian's eyebrows. "You are absolutely talented, and your heart is pure and strong. This deity will give you a drop of Tianfeng blood essence to make it. You can do it yourself." A clear and distant voice sounded, and people couldn't help but feel that it was very pleasant to distinguish between men and women. The voice seemed to span countless regions and times, and it carried a sacred power. Lum Weian put her hands together and replied respectfully, "Thank you, Lord Tianfeng." Boom! The blood pool made a few loud noises, and then the phantom of the phoenix that spread its wings in mid-air gradually disappeared, turning into a stream of light and falling back into the statue of the phoenix, and the opened eyes were closed again. Lum Weian was in a peaceful state of mind, her hands kept forming seals, and she began to refine the drop of blood between her eyebrows. Due to the arrival of the Tianfeng clone, the blood water energy in the blood pool that was already light was replenished, and the crimson was amazingly gorgeous, even more pure and vast than the blood power energy before the family had not let the disciples absorb it. This is the advantage of attracting the identity of Tianfeng, which can not only activate the purest bloodline for himself, but also benefit the family. The third elder and the others were very excited, and the ancestor of the Feng family also had a rare happy smile on his face. The blood pool has been upgraded again, and the younger generation of the family can cultivate many more outstanding talented disciples. This is the long-term benefit that Lum Weian brings to them. The girl Lu is really amazing. She actually managed to attract Lord Tianfeng to lower her avatar and send out a drop of blood essence, the head of the Feng family said with a red face. Her perseverance and tenacity are extraordinary, and there is a reward for hard work. This is the reward of her firm will, the ancestor of the Feng family smiled and praised. The other people's faces were filled with excitement. They didn't expect that they would still see the scene of Tianfeng coming. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 709. Lum Weian fused that drop of Tianfeng blood essence in the Tianfeng blood pond, and the blood in her body was completely stimulated, and a cluster of marks like scarlet flames appeared on her forehead. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lum Weian's cultivation level is also constantly rising, but when she was at the peak of the Earth origin realm, she compressed all the power to advance to the Tianyuan realm in the depths of her dungeon and was not ready to break through. She did not walk out of the Tianfeng blood pond immediately, but continued to refine the power of the bloodline in the blood pond, strands of red tulle floating around her constantly. After another 7 days, Lum Weian opened her eyes, the mark on her forehead and the wings on her back were moved by her heart, and she walked out of the blood pool. When she walked out of the blood pond and saw that the ancestors of the Feng family and other disciples were still in the blood pond, she was slightly taken aback, and then a smile appeared. Mu Yan has seen the ancestor. The little girl has done a good job. She deserves to be the peerless genius of the younger generation of my Feng family, and she is much more evil than your mother's talent. The ancestor of the Feng family couldn't help but praise Lu Muyan. The ancestors praised me, Lu Muyan said with a smile. Let's go, the Tianfeng blood pond will be closed soon. The ancestor of the Feng family left the forbidden area with a group of people. After the other disciples left the forbidden area, they were also arranged by the head of the family to leave, and Lu Muyan successfully stimulated the bloodline to attract the avatar of Tianfeng to come and give him a drop of blood essence, which became a legend among the clan. After the family spread, the news was gradually known to other families in Tianfeng City, and soon the news spread, and all the senior clan leaders in the human domain knew about it. Many first-class forces like the Feng family envy the good luck of the Feng family in their hearts, but they did not expect Feng Yuexin, a once dazzling genius, to give birth to a more dazzling daughter. The executives of the mercenary trade union were extremely happy about this news, and the leaders of the other major forces only smiled bitterly. Although the two brothers and sisters Lu Muyan were not strong in the fusion realm, they both chose a place to live in Zizulin. The Feng family had a stipulation that as long as the disciples of the family could stimulate their blood, they could choose a wooden house in the periphery of the purple bamboo forest as a training ground. Deep in the purple bamboo forest, while playing against Lu Muyan, the ancestor of the Feng family asked, why didn't the little girl use the power of her blood to break through to the Tianyuan realm? With Lu Muyan's pure Yuan strength, it would be easy to break through to the heavenly Yuan realm. He didn't understand why she did this. In order for her not to go astray, he couldn't help but ask. When I joined the mercenary union, the president promised to give me a place to comprehend the Tower of Comprehension. I want to gain a deeper level of comprehension in the Tower of Comprehension before breaking through to the Tianyuan realm. Lu Muyan told the truth. The Tianyuan realm is a watershed. Once the foundation is laid, it will be more beneficial to hit the fusion realm in the future, and the probability will increase accordingly. After the fusion, each level needs to understand more laws of heaven and earth and the mysteries of the elements, so she has made a bold decision. She wants to break the routine and comprehend the mystery of the elements in the tower when she is in the realm of the earth, so that she can break through to the realm of the heavenly realm, and maybe she will be able to master the field of elements in advance. The ancestor of the Feng family was stunned when he heard her words, and then fell into deep thought. After a while, he looked up and said cautiously, "You're taking a risk." At his level, as long as he thinks about it, he will naturally know Lu Muyan's thoughts. I can break through and advance to the Tianyuan realm at any time. In fact, it's just an attempt and it's not an adventure. If I can't integrate the elemental mysteries to advance, then I will break through according to the ordinary promotion rules. If I succeed by mistake, I will be the first to open the door to the field of comprehension of the rules and elements. Lu Muyan's whole body is still full of confidence and flying. Of brilliance. Haha. The ancestor of the Feng family suddenly burst out laughing, his eyes full of admiration. Little girl, you are good, dare to innovate, firmly follow your own path, maintain such a state of mind, and will step into fusion in the future. The situation is not difficult. I will. Lu Muyan nodded firmly. The two played chess for a while, and they were about to continue when the Feng family suddenly came to the forbidden area. Patriarch, the 9th prince of the Imperial family of the underworld is visiting, and he wants to see Yan'er. The head of the Feng family said respectfully with a smile on his face. Lu Muyan's eyes lit up, and the soft light overflowed. The ancestor of the Feng family raised his eyebrows. Is that the stinky boy who wants to abduct Yan girl? It's that stinky boy. The head of the Feng family laughed. The patriarch of the Feng family thought for a while and said, "Bring him here for the old man to see first. I heard that Emperor Hades loves the sun the most, and the old man also has experience." Yes, the head of the Feng family agreed, thinking that the ancestor must want to see if Ming Xiu could be worthy of their family's smoke girl. Girl Yan, do you like that stinky boy? After the head of the Feng family left, the ancestor said with a long smile. Lum Wan nodded without hesitation, and replied confidently, I like it. You, a girl, don't know how to be subtle. The ancestor of the Feng family gave her an angry look and smiled. He usually treats many senior members of the family more like elders, but in front of Lum Wan, he is casual like a friend who has been with him for many years, which also shows that he loves and likes Lum Wan very much. Not only is Lum Wan a manipulative material, she is absolutely talented, but her temperament is pleasing to his appetite. Otherwise, with the cultivation base and status of the ancestor of the Feng family, if he is too lazy to look at the dazzling genius of the younger generation in this world, he will ignore it, and one finger can kill it in its infancy. Of the strong. Why be reserved? Lum Wan blinked her eyes and smiled. The ancestor is not an outsider, not to mention I really like meditation. Because she likes meditation, she will not act like a little girl, or be reserved and shy. If she likes it, she likes it. She doesn't think it needs to be covered up. The ancestor of the Feng family laughed lowly and joked, you girl is really straightforward. Ming Xiu likes my temperament. Lum Wan raised her chin, a little arrogant and proud. Ming Xiu is recognized as the first person in the young generation with the most background and talent in Zhongzhou. He is the master of the Ming Alliance Chamber of Commerce. Many high-level officials also know about him. Man. Such a man promises that she is the only one in this life, and it is actually her pride to have such a lover. You. The ancestor of the Feng family looked at her with a funny look, that kid is really good at coaxing people and coaxing you to the core. I really want to see if he has 3 heads and 6 arms. He doesn't have 3 heads and 6 arms. On the contrary, he is rated as the most beautiful man in Zhongzhou. Lum Wan joked with a smile. Feng Liu once told her that Ming Xiu was recognized as the #1 genius of the younger generation, and the #1 handsome man in Zhongzhou. My evil imperial wife is too arrogant, trash against the world, BlackBelly evil wife is too arrogant. Author, Lan by Gezi. Chapter 710. While Lum Wan was chatting with the ancestor of the Feng family, the head of the Feng family walked in with a handsome man in a red robe. He is reckless, with a confident and domineering temperament all over his body, coupled with that peerless face that is comparable to a monster. He is the focus of attention no matter where he goes. Ming Xiu and Lum Wan exchanged a tacit glance and smiled, and then respectfully bowed to the ancestor of the Feng family. Ming Xiu has seen old ancestor Feng. The patriarch of the Feng family looked at him from the moment he arrived at Ming Xiu. In the end, he had to admit that this man had unlimited potential, and his appearance and temperament were even more impeccable. He was simply perfect, and he was indeed a match for Lum Wan. No gift, sit down. Ming Xiu walked to the position between the two and sat down. His eyes fell on the chessboard that had just been played. Stinky boy, do you know how to play chess? The elder Feng family's attitude towards Ming Xiu was quite approachable. Ming Xiu smiled and replied, I know a little bit. Come and accompany the old man to the next game. Yes. So Lum Wan got up consciously and let Ming Xiu and the ancestor of the Feng family play a game. The two of you came and I went down for more than 2 hours before finally finishing, but it turned out that Ming Xiu won. There are murderous intentions lurking everywhere, full of patience, and careful thought. He really deserves to be the slick son of Emperor Ming. The ancestor of the Feng family was not angry when Ming Xiu won, but he was in a good mood. He is 1,000 years older than Emperor Hades. Although Emperor Hades is now comparable to him and his strength is higher than him, he is still a junior in his eyes. It is not a junior in the realm of cultivation, it is purely compared to age. The ancestors praised me wrongly. Ming Xiu smiled. Why are you here this time? My girl, Yan Yan, hasn't married yet. The ancestor of the Feng family meant that this was not your family. Ming Xiu's expression did not change, and the smile was always on his face. He took out a box made of ice crystal marrow and put it on the table and said, "My father said that he would give Yanner the spirit essence fruit he got, so I'm here mainly to deliver the fruit today." If he said that he mainly came to see Lum Wan, he would definitely be embarrassed by the Feng family, although that was his purpose. Had Emperor Underworld heard what his precious son said, he would definitely not know whether to laugh or cry. It was the stinky brat who wanted a wife, and he stubbornly squeezed all his Ling Yuan fruit and took it to his wife, but he was too embarrassed to use him as a raft. The ancestor of the Feng family also heard that Lum Wan was an 8th grade spirit sommelier, and his eyes lit up when he saw Ling Yuan Qiu. "Girl, I still have some spirit fruits that are made of spirit wine at the 8th level. I'll give them to you as well." The ancestor of the Feng family took out more than 10 boxes of ice crystal marrow and put them on the table. Lum Wan was not polite, she opened her face one by one, and the more she looked, the darker and brighter her eyes became. "Thank you, ancestor, let's talk first, and I'll brew a few pots of spirit wine." Lum Wan also liked alchemy and brewing itself, and he couldn't help but itch when he saw so many spirit fruits of the 8th level. Moreover, it was not long before she reported to the mercenary union. She also wanted to use this free time to brew some spirit wine and refine some medicine pills to give to the ancestors, uncle, and others as a gift. Since coming to Feng's house, she has received many gifts, and she wants to repay them. "Haha, this little girl," the ancestor of the Feng family said with a smile, "Go, don't forget the old man's share when you make it." At their age, there is basically no one who doesn't like to drink spirit wine. By the way, brew some more. In 2 days, the old man will be able to entertain a few old friends and make them envious. Lum Wan is his junior, so naturally he will not be polite. Thinking of the jealous, envious, and hateful eyes in the eyes of those old people made him feel happy. Lum Wan said with a smile, "Don't worry, I must let the ancestors drink enough. Sometimes when people get older, they occasionally show some childish temperament. The so-called old children are like the ancestors of the Feng family and his close friends." Lum Wan hurriedly carried the spirit fruit to brew spirit wine, and the ancestor of the Feng family chatted with Ming Xiu. "How is your father now?" Ming Xiu smiled and replied, "My father is very good now. This time I came here to say hello to my ancestor. This is a gift he prepared for my ancestor." Immediately, Ming Xiu took out a blue and white jade bottle and handed it to the ancestor of the Feng family. The ancestor of the Feng family opened the bottle cap, and a refreshing scent with a strong spiritual energy overflowed. He immediately covered it and smiled, "His father has a heart." Unexpectedly, Emperor Hades even took out such god-level spiritual things as Wanyan Lingyu in order to allow Ming Xiu to gain his approval, which really did not weaken the reputation of Emperor Hades as a darling. "I have heard from her mother about you and Yan girl. The most important thing for you at the moment is to work hard to improve your cultivation and strength." The ancestor of the Feng family paused and sighed and said, "The battlefield outside the territory is about to start, and it's time for you young geniuses to go out and sharpen them." The smile in Ming Xiu's eyes was restrained, and it was as deep as the sea. After a moment of silence, he promised, "When the time comes, I will bring Yanner back safely." The smile on the face of the ancestor of the Feng family became deeper and deeper, and he admired Ming Xiu's thorough thinking. "I believe you can do what you say." Their Feng family couldn't lose Lum Wan, a peerless genius, but the rules that lasted hundreds of thousands of years were set, and no family or power in the mainland could avoid or compete. "I will definitely do it as the most favored son of Emperor Hades." Ming Xiu naturally knew many secrets about the mainland. The old man was also fortunate enough to participate in the opening of the last extraterritorial battlefield. By chance, he was able to comprehend the rules that can break through the fusion of heaven and man. The ancestor of the Feng family paused for a while and continued, "Where is the place where the geniuses of countless ethnic groups have fallen, but it is also the place where countless geniuses have risen. Since it is unavoidable, Let's give it a try. The victory or defeat of the extraterritorial battlefield completely determines the many secrets and futures of the Guanling world. In front of Dai, no family is allowed to hide their secrets, and all the most outstanding genius disciples will be selected and sent to the battlefield, even if he is like Emperor Hades. The powerhouses standing at the top of the continent are also powerless to interfere or change. No way, who made Lum Wen and the others just meet the opening time of the session. Old ancestor, don't worry, Yanner and I both like excitement, and it's not necessarily a bad thing to be selected to be teleported to an extraterritorial battlefield. Ming Xiu smiled confidently. You can see it clearly. You young people are bloody, but that's fine. Only if you are aggressive can you go higher and farther, Junior. The two no longer talk about this topic. After all, the specific opening time has not yet been determined, and it is useless for them to talk more. So the gossip started all over the world. Not long after, Lum Wen also brought up the brewed spirit wine. The ancestor of the Feng family just took a bite and even said 3 good words. Okay, you 2 little fellows are bored to accompany me, an old man, you go down first. The ancestor of the Feng family held a few pots of spirit wine and began to drive people away. Lum Wen and Ming Xiu looked at each other, smiled and got up. Yes. So the 2 of them left together and went to the residence of Lum Wen to practice.